Welcome to Coffee with Coaches for the 2022 and 2023 season, a podcast to showcase the achievements of Meeker High School students. Hosting is Tiffany Jahorik, owner-operator of Crystal Meadow Farms and sports director of the Herald Times, and Rich Klinsman, owner-operator of Step Beyond Media. They have discussions over coffee with MHS coaches and teachers. They look back for a week in review and what is coming up for Meeker High School athletes, plus so much more. Welcome. It was a big week last week. Wow, homecoming week.
Wow, it's always busy, but this year it felt like it was just crazy.
I know. I'm not sure I've recovered yet. So a lot went on too in the sports world for us, and it was super fun. Golf finished up their week last week. Unfortunately, Will Schwartz was just a couple of strokes off of making it to state. But super proud of those kids. You know, he consistently shot less than 90 strokes around, so that was awesome.
Yeah, he really showed an improvement from last year.
Yes.
I mean, everybody did.
And they're also young, so they're all going to be back. It'll be nice. In cross country, there were 9 schools at their meet this week, and Brighton Bear took 7th place, so she did fabulous. It was a big meet for the kids with a lot of big schools there.
Right.
Haley Steele took 53rd, and then in the boys' side, the number 1 cowboy was Wyatt Rollins, once again, who took 23rd place, and then Gabe Smithers and Gage Richardson rounding out the top 3 for the Cowboys.
Wow.
In football, it was a fun game. It was nice and warm, and we had the big ball drop from the helicopter. Well, the ball
flying in.
Yeah, it was awesome. Mm-hmm. It was so much fun. A couple of the coaches mentioned to me, there's, it was a lot for us, but can you imagine for the kids, right? They had all of their fun activities from Peach Fuzz and which was the volleyball, and then the powder puff for the football, and then all the decorating and all the dressing up, and all the coaches said that the kids still remained focused in their sport. And that's what Andy said as well, Coach Coriel, that, he was really so happy that the kids had fun in their activities. And when it was time to practice, they practiced and they worked. And then they showed up on the field. And he really liked how the kids opened up the game.
Well, and the final score doesn't indicate necessarily, how.
No.
Roaring Fork from last year to this year.
Has improved.
They have
Actually,
improved
their quarterback
a lot.
was pretty good.
Yeah. They really were.
Mm-hmm.
We still dominated them. Everything was, but Roaring Fork's a better team.
Yes, they were. In rushing, Clay Crawford had 114 yards. Connor Blunt had 100 yards. Receiving, Jace Mobley led the way with 35 yards. Ryan threw 54 yards. Connor threw a little bit. Mm-hmm. Tristan Rollins got in some time too, so that was fun. Scoring was Ryan, Sullivan, Clay Crawford, Connor Blunt, and Jace Mobley, and then Dagan Dade had a nice one. In tackling, Hayden Schultz and Casey Brink each had 4, and then Connor Blunt, Buzz, Brendan Clatterbot, and Judd each had 3, and then Judd and Hayden had the most tackles for losses, so that was nice.
Gotcha. Nice couple of sacks in there as well.
Yep, and then Quinn and Brink, Ethan Quinn and Brink each had an interception, so good for them. In volleyball, the girls on Friday night hosted Vale Christian, and they won in 3. The last set was kind of close, but Vale Christian's one of the top schools in our league, so that was another nice league win for the girls. On Saturday night, the girls hosted Rangeley, and it was a pretty easy win for the girls, 25-15, 25-18, 25-10. In the stats for the girls, Emma Luce had 47 kills, and Ainsley Sully's really picking it up. She had 16 kills over the weekend, which was nice to see. Mm-hmm. And again, Ellie Hosick and Gracie Cravens are really splitting the job setting and doing a fantastic job. And there's a lot of other girls picking up some kills. Jada May was out there, Addie Sully as well, so doing some great things out there. In softball, so much rain last week that their schedule got totally messed up. They actually have a bunch of home games. We'll talk about that later this week. But they went 1-1 with Cortez. They lost their first game. It was kind of weird. They only had one umpire. We've been talking about the shortages, and so I think, that's really hard for that ump to see from home plate all the way to what's happening at second base.
Yeah.
but they went 1-1. They lost their first one, won their second one. And Coach Bergman said that there were some outstanding performances by Bree Garcia, Reagan Hafey, Ryan Mergelman, and Athena Lyons, and Vivian Brown. In the middle school, the course was a bit longer for cross country this week. It was 1.9 last week. It's 2.2 this week. Skylar Grimes had a really good showing for the girls. And then for the boys, once again, Ashton Tapia, Dexter Chin, and Brad Nielsen all finished out the top 3 for the boys.
Nice.
And I think that they're actually, the middle school is finishing up their fall sports this week.
Right.
And so cross country is at home this week for their last meet. So that's nice.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's a good way to end it.
Yes, that will be. In football, the 7th grade, they hosted rifle on Saturday. The 7th graders lost 14-30, but it was, I guess, they lost in short time. I don't know. Is what the coach was talking about. But and then the 8th grade team, again, shut another team out 52-0. So they host, or rather they're traveling to Steamboat this next week. But the 8th grade has only allowed 14 points the whole year. And that was in their loss to Saratoga, Wyoming.
That's impressive.
Yes.
I mean, our 8th grade especially. But, I mean, the whole middle school, but 8th grade, wow.
I know, it's exciting to think that we're going to have some big kids coming in and, good, strong team moving up. So that'll be fine. Yeah. That'll be super fun. Volleyball, I know the 7th graders did really well. I think that they won their games. I didn't hear from 8th grade. And then in the Mustangs, both teams went to Parachute, which is Grand Valley. Mm-hmm. And we no longer play them. The little dudes lost in heartbreaking 24-19 right there at the very end. And the big dudes, again, won. So they're doing really well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it seems like we did pretty well all the way around this weekend.
Yeah, I think we did. And then we'll talk about what we have coming up. In our studio today, though, they're not here yet.
They will be.
No, we have Dr. Trevor Grant with Grant Family Dentistry and Mrs. Amy Chin, who is the principal of the Meeker High School, in today to talk about Grant Family Dentistry's wonderful donation that they are giving to the kids and the athletes of Meeker High School. And then we're also having Coach Greg Cravens on today.
Wonderful. Yeah, what they did, what the Grant Family Dentistry did, I mean, that's just amazing.
Yep. Yeah, and Amy is here. Trevor's here to talk about the whys, and Amy is here to talk about what it really means to this school.
Right.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we'll come back with them.
All right.
Crystal Meadow Farms is family owned and operated, offering a wide range of CBD products. Coming from 5 generations of farming, Crystal Meadow Farms offers farm-to-table products. In-house CBD extraction using beverage-grade CO2 since 2019. They create a CBD oil without the use of harmful chemicals. Their retail products are handcrafted using organic and natural ingredients and are some of the strongest on the market. They offer a range of CBD tinctures, spa products, a pet line, gummies for day and night, and a large line of topicals.
Welcome back. So right now we have with us Dr. Trevor Grant and Mrs. Amy Chin. Thank you guys for coming in. And we're going to talk about the donation, Trevor, that you and Marky and Grant Family Dentistry decided to put up for the kids. So first of all, it's for athletic fees. Mm-hmm. And can you just tell us the why behind it? Like, why did we decide, or why did you guys decide to do this? What does it mean to you guys?
Absolutely. So first, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to come on here. I think it's great. What did you guys do? Keep everybody updated. And the reasons why, honestly, there's a multitude of reasons. Mm-hmm. One is that I am very fortunate to be surrounded by people that want to give back. On my team, they all get excited about the idea of giving back, and they're very supportive of that. So I'm also grateful for that. And also, very quickly, I just want to say thank you to the community. We're blessed to be in a community that supports us and puts us in a position to be able to give back. And beyond that, athletics, particularly in my life, played a huge role in my growth, my development. We all see that it impacts kids greatly, and teaches them great lessons and kind of sets them up for the future. And so we want to be a part of that. And we saw this as a way to impact as many people as possible, rather than just focusing on one thing. And in our minds, this will allow parents and athletes to just touch their lives and help them, and maybe open the door for, if they choose to take that money and refocus it and give it back, because it is a great thing to be able to give and experience that. Mm-hmm. And so.
And speaking of your team really quickly, because of course doing what you do, it takes a whole team of individuals. Do you want to tell us who's on your team?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Nothing like putting you on the spot. Do you need the picture that was in Facebook?
Yeah, so on that note, our team, we're in the business of serving people, not necessarily the business of dentistry. Dentistry is just part of how we serve people. So, and they're all of that mindset. So we have Casey and Riley are up front, kind of leading the charge, and then in back, our support roles, we have Kelly Kiefer. She just moved here from out of state not that long ago, been a phenomenal addition to the team. Nicole Seeley, she's been excellent. We also have Joanna Simmons, and we can't forget Autumn Hobbs. She's a high schooler, but she helps us out tremendously also. And then on the hygiene side, we have Judy Franz and Brianna White. So we have a decent-sized team, and they all have excellent hearts and servants' hearts.
For sure. And I know that we go there. And Mrs. Chin, tell us, what does it mean to the school for, to have such a donation? I know, of course, there's a group of kids that qualify for free and reduced lunches, but there's that cusp. There's those kids that are right there especially.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Grant, and thank you for having us here to talk about this. Super fun to get to talk about something this exciting.
Yes.
It means a lot because right now it's, so sports fees are $75 each, and as you can imagine, that is a hardship for a lot of our families. And certainly if you have more than one child and more than one sport, it adds up really quickly. So we often get that. We've always worked with families, making payments and figuring out ways to get those paid. But this really helps a lot so that people don't have to worry about that, and they can refocus it. And I know there was definitely some interest in refocusing that and saying make a donation, but there are a lot of families right now, with inflation that are struggling quite a bit. And so this really, it helps us a lot. So if we could talk a little bit about the numbers so that people understand.
Sure, for sure.
We have over 50% of our high school population that are participating in a fall sport right now. So it's probably,
that's incredible.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
When I figured it, so those numbers are a little bit, they fluctuate on who's stayed out for the sport and things like that, but it is almost 57% so football has alone probably 50 kids out, volleyball 38 kids out for volleyball. So,
which is incredible.
Yeah. And then of course we offer 6 fall sports with cheer, cross country, softball, golf, and then volleyball and football. So it is hugely impactful, and it's exciting to see a donation like this that's spread across. Oftentimes, if we get donations, they're for a specific sport, and that is nice too. But this is really shows the Grant family's heart in caring about all of the kids,
right,
who are out for a fall sport.
And if parents choose or families choose to come in and make that donation, they can earmark it for a sport, or but they could also choose band, choir,
absolutely, yes.
The drama, whatever club they choose as well.
Yeah. So we have all of our athletic and clubs, FCCLA, FFA, choir, band, all have what we call club accounts, which are separate accounts. That's the way to earmark that money for that particular. And a lot of times that money, donations go to offset travel fees for kids. It gets expensive, some of our trips. Lyman, for instance. Gets super expensive, and so it's nice to have, for the coaches to have those club fees to offset some of that.
Right. Well, I know as a parent who buys size 14 shoes that are, a couple $100s. And then this year we had to get a new helmet. And I mean, it's expensive, so it's greatly appreciated from the parents' standpoint as well. And like you said, of course, traveling for the school is expensive, but the meeker parents travel well,
Right.
and that's
And we travel far. I mean,
Yes.
not everywhere has to travel as far as Meagher.
No, it doesn't. So it's greatly appreciated from I think everybody for sure. And so, Trevor, let's talk to a little bit about what you're not just doing this, all right? You're also coming back to the wrestling team.
Yes.
That was a very serious question right there.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
Of
right.
course.
So, you and Marky is she going back to basketball this year?
As far as I know, I believe that's planned.
That is the plan, yes. And so
Yep.
you guys are giving in so many ways, and it's so wonderful. And we thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you so much.
Thank you. One final note on
Sure.
the refocusing of the funds. Our intention with this is to touch as many lives as possible. So, whatever's the most impactful for the families involved is how they should refocus it. Whether that's back to the athletics or extracurriculars, or refocusing it into their own family, or just simply receiving the relief. Whatever that looks like for each individual family is what would be best.
That's wonderful. It really is.
Well, and you doing this kind of just shows how Meeker is in general. In honesty, I mean, this is a prime example of it. But this whole
Right.
town, it's just amazing how giving
Yeah.
and how focused on the kids that this community is. It's amazing.
We're very, very blessed to live here.
Yes. Any last words?
No, thank you very much.
Thank
Yes,
you guys.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for the
you.
opportunity to be on here.
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome, Coach Cravens. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, so let's talk about your two wins. Both of them were leagues. Is Rangeley in our league?
Yep.
Yes. And Vale Christian, Christian was one of the top teams, right?
Actually, both Vale Kristen and Rangeley were 2 and 3.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, both of them were really good matches. It was a good weekend for us. It showed us what we're made of, for sure.
Yes, for sure. And Vale Christian, both of them, well, especially Rangeley, didn't seem to have much issue with. Ellie had a heck of a serving game against Rangeley. That was fun to see.
Yeah. Our service game has been dropping off ever since Denver Christian. But this weekend, we got a lot of points out of serve, so it was nice to see. We're back up to that 17-point a set average that I always talk about. We're back up there this weekend, so I'm sure that is why we did so well this weekend, is we're scoring points. We weren't hoping the other team would score points for us.
Right. And speaking of serving, how do you choose? Because I know that, so it's been a few decades since I've played volleyball. But my coach used to say, hey, I want you to try and serve to this position. And how do you go about that?
So when I first came here, we always did spot serving. Every time the girls would look at me and I would tell them where to serve. But I felt we were getting too careful serving, and oh my gosh, I'm trying to get it into the spot. So now I let them have free range of where they serve, and they kind of pick their own spots so they can pick their best ones. What I do is have Coach Stearman and Coach Turner, as the match goes on, they're looking at the other team's serve receive, and they're telling me, hey, this kid, when she's in this position, we can take advantage of her and stuff like that. So I lean on those guys a lot to say, and then in timeouts, I'm just telling the girls, hey, I want you to serve in this seam, or when this kid's in the front row, I want you to serve here or there. So I mean, there's a lot more than just the girls going out there throwing up a ball and throwing it out there. But my assistant coaches are awesome at being able to pick that stuff out. And it's the same with defenses. They're always telling me, hey, this spot's open, that spot's open, and stuff like that. And really, that's really what I'm communicating to Emma and Ainsley, is just where can we hit and what positions should we be in when we hit, stuff like that.
Right. And speaking of Emma and Ainsley, those are the only two girls, right, that are staying on the court full time?
Correct, because I have my liberos.
You have a lot of rotating going on.
Yeah, I usually don't do that. I'm usually a 7-8 person kind of coach. And this year I have a lot of kids contributing, and I have a lot of kids good at volleyball, and I got to figure out a way to get them on the court. I got 2 kids that I struggle trying to get them on the court, and it's not because they're not good at what they do. I just have a lot of good volleyball players this year, and it's oh my gosh, it's so terrible to have that problem.
Yes. And so, and a lot of tall girls, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
With Nora.
And that leaves next year. I'll have Ainsley and then a whole bunch of 5'5" kids.
Reese Clatterbot's pretty tall.
That's true. And then in her heels the other night, holy moly, she was a giant. So if she could grow those 2 inches that her heels were on Saturday night, really be good.
Yes. And Addie Selly's picking it up in that middle. She's doing some good things.
She is. She swings hard, and I appreciate that. She, a lot of younger kids. Reese has this problem, and I have to tell Reese, hey, we're in practice. I want you to swing a waist because I want you to get successful. I never have to say that to Addie. Addie's swinging. She's swinging every chance she gets. She's swinging hard. So I appreciate that about her. And sometimes we have to tone her down because she gets a little hoppy around the court and stuff. Just slow down, Addie. We'll be all right. But she's a nice kid to have out there.
So when the girls are up there and they're hitting, whether it's from the middle or the outsides or wherever, how are they making a decision where they're going to hit?
I'd like to say there's a complicated thing. Like Addie's just swinging hard. Ainsley's starting to figure out where to put the ball and stuff like that. Emma, she's been doing it so long. She's incredible. We talk a lot about from when we hit a 3 on the inside of the net, where she should hit it when she's out on the pin. She knows. We talk about hitting line and cross court a lot because those are the big hit zones. And then we'll talk about, hey, if that middle of the court's open, that everyone does against us. We talk about that a lot too. So really it's a lot of experience figuring out how to hit a ball somewhere, thumb up, thumb down, and things like that. And that's why, as you see kids go in the program and they develop like that, that's the coolest thing to watch. Like our C team, I love watching them right now because they just play hard and swing hard and they just love volleyball. And then watching those kids develop to when they get seniors and figuring out what their bodies can do and how high they can jump and when to tip. That's watching kids grow, and I appreciate that the most.
Right. I know that I've definitely noticed that in Ainsley this year, for sure.
Yeah. And we're working on getting her even wider. She's a little narrow right now, and we're getting her to get a little bit wider so she's able to hit down this line, but then also along the net over here also. So she's getting there, and we appreciate that.
Yes.
Because she's going to be a big part of our team next year, so she'll have to figure it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, the Silly girls will, both of them, be a big part of that team.
Yes.
And so then defensively, we have Nora and Addie had a block.
Yep.
Right. But then on the back row, lots of people picking up the ball and really moving around.
Yeah,
and doing
Roberts has always been great at picking up stuff in front of her right at her platform and stuff like that. We're working on being able to make her range a little bit bigger, being able to get the balls to the side of her, in front of her a little bit more. Taylor Garcia, she is great at reading things already as a sophomore, and she hasn't played a lot of volleyball. She's just a good athletic kid that is able to read that stuff, and she's picking up a lot of digs now for us. And then Emma, she's been doing it for so long. She just reads.
She's 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
So she
just lays out in the back. That's why I have her in middle back. She just lays out across the back line, and she'll pick it up. So, but a lot of that is she knows. She probably has a better idea of where the ball's going better than the hitters do. They're just swinging away, and she already knows. She's watching hips. She's watching elbows. And she can figure out where they're coming pretty easily. So that's why I put her in middle back, and you just run everything down, Emma, and we're on the sidelines ready to go.
And I would suppose that with Emma, of course, being on the team, because, of course, she's playing against the girls, and she's, in practice, she's hitting at them.
Yeah, exactly.
I would suppose it's helping our girls to be like, I could pick that up.
I agree. Yeah. And it's awesome because beginning of every practice, we do a drill that we call Queens, where the kids are playing against each other, and I'll have like seniors and sophomores together and stuff like that. So my freshmen are getting out there, and Emma's hitting at them, and they're digging it. Little Braden on the C team is starting to dig her every time, and her eyes get really big, and then she digs it, and she goes, "Oh, I can do this." And then Emma's always saying, "Coach, I should get on the other side and hit our varsity girls so they know." And I'm like, "I get it, but I also need you to rest your shoulder a little bit." So also, I mean, we're always better when Emma's in the gym and she's making us better. And that's probably the biggest thing I love about Emma this year is she works really hard at making our team better. You know what I mean? I've even got compliments from other coaches about how impressed they are at how good she is, but she still loves her teammates. She just loves it when they do something well. And that's
She
the
does.
best. Yeah.
Because she's always shoving them. She's so happy. I'm
I
like,
stayed last year, and one of my coaches, one of the other coaches came up and said, "Your kids are going to hurt each other the way they celebrate." I just let them do what they want to do. They're having a good time. I just let them do it.
yes, well, it's definitely fun to watch. And so what do we have going on this week with you guys?
This week we go to Cedar Ridge on Friday, the football volleyball thing.
Which is
That's
my favorite
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and Cedar Ridge will be a great challenge for us. Also, we will have to serve and pass well for us to do well down there. And then Cap Rock is here on Saturday,
Nice.
starting at 1. So, 2 league games again, and hopefully we'll do as good as we did this weekend.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank you. This is a great opportunity. I love that you guys do this stuff because, I mean, I love giving the kids the recognition they deserve because they work hard for me. So
They do.
it's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Welcome back. Well, that was so much fun having Trevor and Amy and Greg in the studio today because, you know, it just makes you happy when you hear about all the great things that is going on in our community and with Trevor's donation.
Right. It's this community is amazing. Now, I've only been here for a couple of years, and it just surprises me how much this community gives back to the school.
Right.
But it also impresses me. We were talking about substitute teaching and stuff like that, and the kids come up and say thank you and stuff after. I mean, it's all the way around. I mean,
Yeah.
the families, the parents are great because they support the school, but they're also showing how you should be an adult to the kids. And
Yes.
it's just all the way around. This community is just incredible.
I know that, you know, our biggest, of course, where we travel the farthest to this year is Lyman. And I know that the Lyman community likes having Meeker because the kids are good.
Right. Well, and I even saw a thing on Facebook, and this is just showing our kids. Somebody from Watts, and I can't remember the name, from Watts,
Oh, right. Yep.
put on there. We just want to say thank you because your kids are so
Yep.
nice, and they say thank you, and they're patient, and it's just,
Yes,
it's a
lot of-
testament.
Yep, not a lot of entitlement with our kids. They have to
Exactly.
work for everything, so it's so nice. So, speaking of working, there's a lot going on, especially in the softball world, and I need to pull that one up
Yeah.
because those girls, I was talking to one of the Rangeley moms, Jimmy Mergelman, and she's like, yeah, I was like, should we just move to Meeker for the week? Because we're going to be here all week.
Well, what, 6 games?
6 home games, right. That's 6 varsity home games. There's also a JVs.
Wow.
So there's really 7 home games. But, okay, so for softball this week, just beginning with them because that's where we're at. Monday today, they are hosting a varsity doubleheader against Basalt. Wednesday, and that begins at 4. Another doubleheader varsity against Delta, and that's at 4. Friday is a varsity and JV doubleheader against Battle Mountain at 3 and 5. And then Saturday, Aspen, 1 game at 11.
That's a tough week.
It
That's
is.
a big week.
So, Kendall, Coach Bergman's going to get practice on Tuesday and Thursday. So, yeah, it'll be nice and fun for them. Then, so, let me go down my list. Where should we start with? Football. Like
Game
Coach-
today.
Oh, JV game today. Where is it at?
Here.
Oh, yay.
It is here. So the football field and softball fields, we're going to have a lot of cheering.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And then, like Coach Cravens said, volleyball and football, just kind of like back in the day when we were in high school, are following each other this weekend at Cedar Edge. I believe that's 4, 5, 6, and then 7 for football, unless it changes again, which it can.
Yes, it can.
And so, again, Cedar Edge, everybody's going there. And then volleyball back home Saturday, hosting...
Okay. Caprock.
Caprock.
Sorry.
I was like,
Had a brain fart there for a minute.
Cross country is away this weekend. And then I was going to look. 8th grade, or the junior high, of course, is on their last week. Cross country is home for junior high on Saturday. Last one. Football is in Steamboat for their last games on Saturday. I'm not sure about volleyball. And then this coming weekend, I believe that they go, the Mustangs go to Glenwood Springs.
Okay.
So I think that covers everybody, right?
Except for Athlete of the Week. But,
Athlete of the Week. Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, it's you don't really speak about our football team unless you're speaking about Connor Blunt. And, he's contributing both a ton on offense and, of course, on defense, and doing, a lot of running of the ball, as well as a lot of the defensive plays he's involved in, and he's there. So, congratulations, Connor Blunt.
Congratulations, Connor Blunt. And he's just getting back kind of into football shape because he missed
He missed the first game.
So, with a small injury. So, he's just getting going.
Yes, and, they play Cedar Edge this weekend, which is, when we play at Cedar Edge, that's always a tough game, of course. And then we get into 2 really tough games for football. So hopefully get back some healthy boys.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
Go Cowboys.
Cowboys.